After losing a game of truth or dare, I kissed the guy I've been secretly in love with. Unexpectedly, I gained the ability to read minds. My crush, whom I had just forced a kiss upon, sat coldly in the corner, strictly silent. Yet I clearly heard a voice drifting through my head. Her lips are so soft. I need to figure out a way to get her to kiss me again. So there I was at this frat party, sitting next to my forever crush, Archer. And I just had to pick dare. Like an idiot, I closed my eyes to draw a card. And the instant I pulled it, the whole VIP booth erupted in chaos. I listened to my best friend Zoe laughing like a maniac beside me. The hand holding the card was trembling slightly. For this bitch to be laughing that perversely, I must have pulled something incredibly embarrassing. Hahaha. Holy shit. Come on, open your eyes, Chloe. Zoe slapped my shoulder, urging me on. I opened my eyes with the grace of someone going to the electric chair. The moment I read the card, my hand shook even harder. French kissed the person next to you. There were only two people next to me. One was Zoe, the other was Archer, the guy I'd been crushing on for ages. Originally, Archer wasn't sitting here, but he said he couldn't stand the smell of smoke from some guy, so he switched seats right next to me. The crowd was jeering. Zoe was the loudest of them all. She put her hands on her hips and warned, "Let's be clear. Don't even think about kissing me. No girl-on-girl action here." The second she said that, everyone's eyes locked onto Archer. The hooting and hollering got even louder. I clutched the card, my neck stiff. As I turned to look at Archer, my palms were sweating buckets. He sat quietly in his seat. The lights in the booth were dim, so I couldn't read his expression. But since I've known him, we've barely spoken 10 words to each other, let alone swapped spit. "Hurry up. You gonna pass on this opportunity?" Zoe leaned into my ear, whispering through gritted teeth. I wanted to. God. I wanted to. But did I dare? Archer seemed to finally notice the weird vibe. He slowly looked up, his gaze landing on the card in my hand. His face remained completely blank, cold as ice. I chickened out instantly. Maybe we should skip. It's fine. I hadn't even finished my sentence when Archer cut me off. He lifted his eyes to look at me, his expression flat. I have no objection. The cheering around us exploded. Zoe let out the most unhinged laugh I've ever heard. Surrounded by the noise, I inched closer to Archer. The closer I got, the harder my heart pounded in my chest. The moment our lips touched, I saw Archer's Adam's apple bob. His lips were warm and soft. Insanely soft. People on the campus confession wall used to discuss Archer's lips, saying they looked totally kissable. Kissing him lived up to the hype. Maybe it was just my nerves, but I suddenly felt the corners of Archer's mouth twitch up slightly. Was he smiling? My heart rate redlined. The rush was too much. I waited until Zoe almost passed out from laughing, before I snapped back to reality. I didn't dare turn it into a full-on makeout session. After a brief touch, I quickly pulled back, crashing into Zoe behind me. That's it. Zoe widened her eyes, snatching the card from my hand. It said French kiss. It counts. It counts. My face felt like it was going to explode. I didn't dare look up. Zoe sighed, looking at me like I was a hopeless case. Took me a while to calm down. I realized the person next to me had changed. Archer had somehow moved to the far end of the booth, without me noticing. I looked at him sitting in the corner, not saying a word, and my anxiety spiked. Why did he move so far away? He looked pissed. What was he thinking? He regretted it. I ruined his mood. He hates me now. My brain was spiraling, wondering if I should go over and apologize. Suddenly a familiar voice rang in my ear. She kissed me. That was Archer's voice. I followed the sound. Archer was sitting quietly. At the end, his expression unchanged. Was I hallucinating? I stared suspiciously at the silent Archer. A second later, his voice resonated in my ear again. Her lips were so damn soft. Archer blinked ever so slightly. Gotta figure out a way to get her to kiss me again. I froze, unable to process this for a solid minute. Zoe slapped my arm after finishing another round of games. What's up? Happy about the kiss? You stunned idiot? Did you? I chose my words carefully. Did you hear what Archer just said? Archer? Zoe frowned, glancing up. He hasn't said a word. Chloe babe, are you drunk? Just rest here for a bit, okay? Zoe went back to the game, leaving me sitting there in a crisis of self-doubt. Was I really hearing things? It felt too real. While I was thinking, the crowd started cheering again. Come on, come on. Come on. Archer's getting in on this round. Make room. I watched as the guy next to me shifted, clearing a spot. Archer stood up from the corner and sat right back down next to me. My heart skipped a beat. For some reason, I recalled his thought from a moment ago. Gotta figure out a way to get her to kiss me again. Once the game started, Archer, the genius computer science major, somehow lost every single round. He downed several shots of liquor as punishment. Even his buddy Brad was confused. Since when do you suck? This bad at games. Archer looked unbothered. Bad luck. Keep going. This time, unsurprisingly, he lost again. But he didn't choose the shot. His eyes locked onto the deck of dare cards. Brad instantly got the hint, waving his hand grandly and tossing the cards on the table. All right, let's see what dare our boy Archer gets. Hopefully a lap dance next door. Archer remained calm. He stared down at the cards on the table, seemingly debating which one to pick. Next second, I heard his inner voice again. Pick the card with the creased corner. I followed his gaze to the table. Crease. Which one had a crease? Archer took his time. Brad nudged him. Hurry up, man. Archer's eyes swept across the cards, finally locking onto one. His tension relaxed. He reached out his finger, landing on the exact card he'd been eyeing. Just this one, he said casually. Brad flipped it over eagerly, then burst out laughing. Oh shit. Oh shit. Guess what this is? He held the card, teasing everyone. Zoe got impatient. What is it? Spit it out. Oh man. This card. Zoe lost her patience, rolling up her sleeves. Hurry up or I'll beat your ass. After taking a few hits, Brad finally revealed the card. His gaze bounced between me and Archer twice, grinning like an idiot as he solved the mystery. When the card was flipped, I leaned in to look and froze it. It was exactly the same card I had drawn earlier. The familiar bold letters. French kiss the person next to you. I stared at the card, noticing a tiny, almost invisible crease in the bottom right corner. My heart rate redlined instantly. Brad nudged Archer, his tone teasing. What a coincidence, Archer. Yeah, pretty coincidental. Archer's face was a mask of calm. He glanced at the card and nodded. After agreeing, he suddenly looked up, locking eyes with me. Suddenly my heart sounded like a drum. Archer's eyes were pitch black. He stared at me in the dim light for a few seconds, then asked flatly, "Is that okay? Is that okay?" His voice was a low rumble, barely audible over the chaotic thumping of the bass in the frat house. To anyone else, Archer looked like he was asking for a spare pen in a lecture hall. His expression was bored, almost clinical. But inside my head, it was a riot. Say yes. Please say yes. If she says no, I'm going to flip this table, move to Antarctica, and live with penguins. I swear to God, Chloe, just nod. The contrast between his stony face and his panicked internal monologue was so jarring I almost laughed. Almost. But the intensity in his pitch-black eyes pinned me to the spot. I swallowed hard, my throat dry. Yeah, I managed to whisper. It's the rules, right? Archer nodded slowly. Right. The rules. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Brad, you useful idiot. I'm buying you a car. He didn't rush this time. Unlike my panicked peck earlier, Archer moved with a terrifyingly controlled slowness. He leaned in, one hand coming up to rest on the back of the booth behind my head, effectively boxing me in. The scent of him, clean laundry, expensive cologne, and a hint of vodka, flooded my senses. The cheering in the booth died down into a hushed, voyeuristic anticipation. Even Zoe shut up. Archer tilted his head. His eyes dropped to my lips. Don't rush it. Don't scare her. Soft. Gentle. Make her remember this one. He closed the gap. When his lips touched mine, it wasn't like the first time. The first time had been a collision. This was a merger. His lips were warm, firm, and moved with a devastating expertise that made my toes curl in my sneakers. I gasped slightly against his mouth, and he took that as an invitation, deepening the kiss. She tastes like peach schnapps. And sugar. I could do this for the rest of my life. Literally. Just let me die right here. His hand, the one resting on the booth, shifted. I felt his thumb graze my earlobe, a touch so feather-light it sent a shiver straight down my spine. Is this too much? Am I being too aggressive? No, she's leaning in. She's grabbing my jacket. Oh my God, she's grabbing my jacket. Stay cool, Archer. Do not moan. My hands had indeed found their way to the lapels of his denim jacket, clutching the fabric like a lifeline. My brain was short-circuiting. I was kissing Archer. The Archer. And he wasn't just tolerating it. He was mentally planning our wedding. He pulled back slowly, lingering for a fraction of a second before separating. His eyes were half-lidded, dark and hazy. One more second, and I wouldn't have been able to stop. Task complete, Archer said. His voice was raspy, a full octave lower than usual. He cleared his throat, straightening his jacket, instantly rebuilding his walls. The booth exploded. Well, get it, Archer. Brad was pounding the table so hard the empty shot glasses rattled. That's how you clear a debt. Zoe was staring at me, her jaw on the floor. She looked from me to Archer, her eyes narrowing. I sat there, dazed, my lips tingling. Archer picked up his drink, water this time, and took a long sip. My heart is beating so fast I think I might actually go into cardiac arrest. Look at her. Her face is red. She looks incredible. Don't look at her too long, you'll look like a creep. Look at Brad. Look at the wall. Look at the dusty ceiling fan. Archer stared intensely at the ceiling fan. All right, Brad yelled, gathering the cards. Who's next? Zoe, you're up. I need air. I blurted out, standing up abruptly. The room was suddenly too hot, too loud, and too full of Archer's screaming thoughts. I'll come with, Zoe started. No. I cut her off, maybe a little too quickly. Just bathroom break. Stay. Win for me. I didn't wait for a response. I squeezed past Brad's legs and scrambled out of the VIP booth. The cool night air of the frat house balcony was a blessing. I leaned against the railing, taking deep gulps of oxygen. What the hell was happening to me? I touched my lips. The sensation of his mouth was still there. But more importantly, the voice. It wasn't a hallucination. I had heard every desperate, pining word. Archer, the guy who walked past me in the hallway for 3 years with nothing but a polite nod, was obsessed with me. You okay? I jumped, spinning around. Archer stood in the doorway of the balcony, hands shoved deep into his pockets. He looked calm, composed, the picture of aloof coolness. Please don't be mad. Did I use too much tongue? I definitely used too much tongue. She ran away. I ruined it. I'm an idiot. I'm fine, I said, my voice trembling slightly. Just hot inside. He nodded, stepping out onto the balcony. He stood next to me, leaving a respectful foot of distance between us. He looked out at the campus skyline, his profile sharp against the moonlight. Sorry about the game, he said flatly. Brad gets out of hand. Tell her you rigged it. No, don't tell her that, she'll think you're a stalker. Tell her you liked it. No, that's weird. Just stand here and look mysterious. It's okay, I said, suppressing a smile. It's just a game, right? Right, he said. Just a game. Just the best moment of my entire existence. Do you want to head back in? He asked, though his internal voice screamed, say no. Let's leave. Let's go get food. Let's go anywhere that isn't full of sweating frat guys. Actually, I think I'm gonna head home, I said. Zoe's probably going to play until dawn, and I have an 8 a.m. I can walk you, Archer said instantly. He caught himself, coughing lightly. I mean, I'm heading out too. It's on the way. I lived in the North dorms. He lived in the off-campus apartments in the South. It was absolutely not on the way. Sure, I said. That would be nice. Yes. Victory. We walked down the stairs and out onto the street. The silence between us was thick. Physically, we weren't touching, but mentally, I was bombarded by his analysis of every step we took. Is she cold? She's hugging her arms. Should I give her my jacket? Is that too cliché? It's a movie move. But she actually looks cold. Do it, coward. Archer stopped walking. He shrugged off his denim jacket in one fluid motion and held it out to me. Here, he said. It's windy. I looked at the jacket, then at him. He was wearing a plain black t-shirt underneath. Won't you be cold? I run hot, he said curtly. I am freezing my ass off. But you take it. Take the jacket. Wear my clothes. Please. I took the jacket and slipped it on. It was huge on me, engulfing me in warmth and that intoxicating scent of his. As I buttoned it, I saw his eyes track the movement. She looks so small in it. This is it. This is the peak. I can die happy now. Thanks, I mumbled, burying my nose slightly in the collar. No problem. We walked for another block in silence. So, I ventured, deciding to test the waters. You didn't seem like the type to lose so many games in a row. Zoe said you're a genius. Archer looked straight ahead. Probability is a tricky thing. Sometimes the odds just aren't in your favor. The odds were 100% in my favor because I marked every single card that wasn't a drink or kiss. I calculated the shuffle velocity. I am a genius, just a desperate one. I bit my lip to stop from laughing out loud. This was incredible. It was like having the answer key to a final exam, but the exam was the boy I'd been crushing on for years. I guess, I said. It was funny watching Brad's face though. Brad's an idiot, Archer said fondly. Brad is the best wingman in history. I need to buy him that Lego Death Star he wants. We reached the entrance to my dorm building way too quickly. I stopped at the gate, turning to face him. The streetlight cast shadows across his face, making his sharp jawline look even sharper. Well, I said. This is me. Yeah, Archer said. He didn't move. Ask for her number. You don't have her number. You have her email from the group project sophomore year, but emailing her would be psychotic. Ask for her number. He stood there silent. Say something. Can I have your number? It's 5 words. Small, archi. You code in C++. You can speak English. Good night, Archer, I said softly, deciding to put him out of his misery. Good night, Chloe, he replied. He turned to leave. He actually turned to leave without asking. You failure. You absolute failure. You had one job. Hey, Archer? I called out. He spun around so fast he almost tripped. Yeah, I think I lost my phone inside the party earlier. Can you call it? So I can see if it rings in my bag? Maybe I just missed it. I held up my bag, which definitely contained my very silent, very safe phone. Archer patted his pockets and pulled out his phone. Sure. What's the number? I rattled it off. He typed it in, his fingers moving with lightning speed. 359, got it. Don't save it as future wife. Save it as Chloe. Just Chloe. My phone buzzed in my bag. I pretended to fish it out. Oh, found it. Thanks. No problem, he said. His voice was steady, but his mind was doing a victory lap. I have the number. I have the number. See you around. I smiled. See you. I watched him walk away. He walked with a casual, confident stride until he turned the corner. The second he thought he was out of sight, I heard a faint, mental shout echo back toward me. Yeses. I giggled, hugging his oversized jacket tighter around me, and swiped my keycard. The next morning, I woke up convinced it was a dream. I lay in my dorm bed, staring at the ceiling. Mind reading? Really? That was the plot of a bad rom-com, not real life. I must have been drunk. The alcohol, the adrenaline, the wishful thinking. It all combined to create a hallucination. I sat up, spotting the denim jacket draped over my desk chair. Okay, the jacket was real. My phone buzzed on the nightstand. A text. A known number. Hey, just checking you didn't freeze to death. Archer. I stared at the screen. It was 9:30 a.m. on a Sunday. I typed back, I survived. Thanks for the jacket. I can bring it to you later? The response was immediate. Archer. I'm at the library. The one on 4th, studying. If you're around. I bit my lip. The library on a Sunday morning? I showered and dressed in record time, throwing on a hoodie and leggings. I grabbed his jacket, folding it neatly into my tote bag. When I walked into the campus library, it was eerily quiet. I scanned the rows of tables. I found him in the back corner, near the computer science section, naturally. He was wearing a gray sweatshirt, headphones around his neck, typing furiously on a laptop. A half-empty iced coffee sat next to him. He looked focused, intense, and intimidatingly smart. I approached slowly. Hey. Archer stopped typing. He looked up, and for a split second his face was blank. Then recognition hit. Hey, he said, pulling one earphone off. And then it happened. She came. She actually came. And she looks so cute in that hoodie. Is her hair wet? Did she just shower? She smells like vanilla shampoo. Focus, Archer. Say something normal. I brought your hostage back, I said, pulling the jacket out of my bag. He took it, setting it on the chair next to him. Thanks. Wasn't worried. I was going to use I need my jacket back as an excuse to see you tomorrow, but this is better. I stood there, shifting my weight. So studying hard. Coding assignment, he said, gesturing to the screen filled with lines of colorful text. Pretty standard. It's actually a neural network I'm building to predict stock trends, but that sounds boring. Don't bore her. Cool, I said. Mind if I sit? I have some reading to do. He gestured to the empty seat across from him. Go ahead. Please sit. Stay forever. I sat down, pulling out my iPad. For the next hour, we worked in silence. Well, he worked. I pretended to read, but mostly I was listening to the radio station that was Archer's brain. It was fascinating. His thoughts were a chaotic mix of complex code logic and hyper-awareness of my presence. While user dot is looking. Heart rate plus plus. Else calm down. She just tucked her hair behind her ear. Gah. Variable X is undefined. Damn it, where is the bug? She sighed. Is she bored? Should I ask if she wants coffee? Line 405 error. Stupid semicolon. Ask her for coffee, you coward. Suddenly, Archer stood up. The chair scraped loudly against the floor. I'm going to grab a refill, he announced, gesturing to his empty cup. You want anything? I looked up. Oh sure. An iced latte would be great. I can Venmo you. Don't worry about it, he said, turning away before I could argue. I am going to buy her the best latte this campus has ever seen. Oat milk. Do girls like oat milk? Zoe drinks oat milk. I'll get oat milk just in case. And a muffin. Oh, blueberry muffin. He walked off toward the library cafe. I sat there, shaking my head. This was insane. I held all the cards. I knew exactly what he wanted, what he was thinking, and how terrified he was of messing up. It felt powerful, but also a little dangerous. When he came back, he placed a large iced latte, with oat milk, and a blueberry muffin in front of me. They had fresh muffins, he muttered, sitting back down. You're a lifesaver, I smiled, taking a sip. And oat milk? You remembered. I hadn't told him I liked oat milk. I didn't even know if I'd ever mentioned it around him. Archer froze. Crap. I didn't remember, I just guessed. Does she think I'm stalking her dairy preferences? Play it cool. Lucky guess, he said, returning to his screen. I broke off a piece of the muffin. So Archer. About last night. His fingers stopped on the keyboard. Here it comes. The let's just be friends speech. The that was a mistake speech. Brace for impact. What about it? He asked, his voice steady. I had fun, I said. Even if you did lose on purpose. Archer whipped his head up. His eyes widened slightly. How does she know? Did Brad talk? I'll kill him. I don't know what you mean, he lied smoothly. I leaned forward, resting my chin on my hand. I decided to push my luck. Come on. You stared at the cards, found the one with the crease in the corner, and picked it. You're a CS major, you look for patterns. Archer stared at me. His mouth opened slightly, then closed. She saw the crease? She noticed me noticing the crease? She is observant. And brilliant. And she knows I wanted to kiss her. Oh God. She knows. Maybe, he admitted slowly, a faint blush creeping up his neck. Maybe I just wanted to win the game. By kissing me? He held my gaze. The silence stretched. Because I've wanted to kiss you since freshman orientation when you wore that ridiculous yellow hat. Because, he said aloud, choosing his words carefully, it seemed like a better option than drinking Brad's mixture of tequila and pickle juice. Liar. 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 I laughed. Fair point. I took another sip of the latte. Well, next time you don't have to rig the deck. Archer blinked. Wait. Parse that sentence. Next time? Don't have to rig? Does that mean she would just kiss me? Without the dare? His brain went silent for a solid 5 seconds. A complete reboot. Noted, he choked out. We fell back into silence, but the air had changed. It was lighter. Charged. I watched him type, a small smile playing on my lips. Archer liked me. He really, really liked me. And for the first time in my life, I didn't have to guess. I didn't have to overanalyze his texts or decode his glances. I knew. But now a new problem was forming. How long could I keep this a secret? Every time he thought something sweet, I wanted to smile. Every time he panicked, I wanted to reassure him. It felt like cheating. She's staring at me. Is there food on my face? Check face. No, she's smiling. Why is she smiling? Is she laughing at me? Or does she like me back? No. Imposible. She's Chloe. She's out of my league. She's just being nice. I kicked him gently under the table. He jumped. What? Stop thinking so loud. I teased. I can hear the gears turning. He looked at me, confusion in his eyes. I'm just coding. I am literally thinking about how soft your hands look. Right, I said. Coding. A week passed. A week of accidental run-ins, which I knew he orchestrated by checking my class schedule. Thanks to his internal monologue confessing it, library study sessions and late-night texts. It was Friday again. The weekend. I was in my dorm room with Zoe, who was currently raiding my closet. You have to come tonight, Zoe said, holding up a red dress. It's the interhouse mixer. Everyone is going. Archer will be there. She wiggled her eyebrows. I don't know, I said, lying on my bed. We've been hanging out, but he hasn't made a move since the kiss. He's shy. Zoe insisted. He's a nerd, Chloe. A hot nerd, but a nerd. You have to give him the green light. If only she knew. I had been giving him green lights all week, but every time he thought about asking me out on a real date, he psyched himself out. She's bored. She probably wants to go home. If I hold her hand now, and she pulls away, I will have to transfer to a university in Peru. It was frustrating. I was half tempted to just grab him and say, I can read your mind, you idiot, just kiss me again. My phone pinged. Archer, hey, you going to the mixer tonight? I showed the phone to Zoe. She shrieked. Reply. Say yes. I typed. Yeah, Zoe is dragging me. You. Archer. Brad is making me go. Says I need to be social. Translation. I am going only because I hope you will be there. I have spent the last hour trying to decide if I should wear a button-down or a t-shirt. I chose the button-down. I hope you like blue. I smiled. See you there. The mixer was in the main campus ballroom. It was louder and more crowded than the frat party. The air smelled of cheap perfume and floor wax. I spotted Archer immediately. He was standing near the drinks, looking uncomfortable, holding a red Solo cup. He was wearing the blue button-down. He had rolled the sleeves up to his elbows. He looked good. Really good. I walked over, Zoe trailing behind me to act as a buffer. Hey, I said. Archer turned. His eyes scanned me from head to toe. I was wearing the red dress Zoe picked out. Oh. God. System failure. She looks illegal. That dress should be illegal. How is she real? Keep your mouth shut, Archer. Do not drool. Hi, he said, his voice straining. You look nice. You too, I said. I like the blue. He glanced down at his shirt. Thanks. She likes the blue. I am never taking this shirt off. I will be buried in this shirt. Zoe nudged me. I'm gonna go find drinks. You two talk. She vanished into the crowd. So, Archer said, shifting his weight. Loud in here. Yeah, I agreed. Want to go somewhere quieter? He looked at me, hope flaring in his eyes. Is she asking to leave with me? Alone? Yes. Yes. Anywhere. Sure, he said. There's a patio out back. We navigated through the dancing bodies. Archer placed a hand on the small of my back to guide me through the crowd. His hand was warm, his touch firm but respectful. Don't move your hand. Just guide her. Don't slide it down. Don't slide it up. Just support. We stepped out onto the patio. It was decorated with fairy lights, and there were a few other couples scattered around, but it was much quieter. We leaned against the stone railing. The music was muffled here, a rhythmic thumping in the background. Chloe. Archer started, turning to face me. Yeah. He looked nervous. He ran a hand through his hair. Just say it. Just tell her. I like you. I want to take you out to dinner. I want to be the guy you call when you're sad. Why is this so hard? He hesitated. I decided to help him. I took a step closer, invading his personal space. I looked up at him, my eyes searching his. Archer, I said softly. You know you can tell me anything, right? He looked down at me, his dark eyes vulnerable. I want to kiss you again. That's all I can think about. Your lips. The way you taste. I want to kiss you until we both forget our names. He started again. I'm glad we're friends. Coward. His mind screamed. I sighed. Okay, fine. If he wasn't going to do it, I was. I'm glad we're friends too, I said. But. I reached out and took his hand. His fingers interlaced with mine instantly like a reflex. But, he whispered. But I think you're bad at games, I said. I told you, he said, a small smirk appearing. Bad luck. No, I said, stepping even closer, until our chests were almost touching. I think you're holding back. She's so close. She's looking at my lips. Is this it? Is this happening? Archer. I whispered. Do you dare me to do something? He swallowed hard. His gaze dropped to my mouth. I dare you to love me back. Truth or dare, he murmured. Dare, I said. His grip on my hand tightened. I dare you, he said, his voice rough, to kiss the person next to you. I smiled. There's no one next to me. Just you. Exactly. I didn't wait. I pulled him down by his collar and crashed my lips onto his. This time, there was no hesitation. Archer groaned low in his throat, his arms wrapping around my waist, lifting me slightly off the ground. He kissed me like he was starving, like he had been waiting years for this moment. Which, according to his thoughts, he basically had. She's kissing me. She wants this. This isn't a game. This is real. She's mine. Finally. His thoughts washed over me. A tidal wave of adoration and relief and pure, unadulterated desire. It was overwhelming, intoxicating. We broke apart, breathless. My forehead rested against his. Was that okay? I asked, echoing his words from the party. Archer laughed, a genuine, breathless sound. Yeah, he said. That was okay. That was perfect. He pulled back to look at me, his thumb stroking my cheekbones. Chloe. Yeah. I really like you. Like a lot. For a long time. I smiled, finally hearing the words out loud that I had been hearing in my head for days. I know, I said. He frowned slightly. You know? I had a hunch, I teased. He chuckled, shaking his head. Well, I'm glad. Because I wasn't sure how much longer I could pretend to be cool. I was about 5 minutes away from writing you a sonnet. It would have been humiliating. I laughed, burying my face in his chest to hide my grin. No sonnets, I said. Just kisses. Archer froze. Did I say the sonnet thing out loud? No. I didn't. Did I? He pulled back, looking at me with narrow, suspicious eyes. Did I say that? I widened my eyes, feigning innocence. Say what? About the never mind. He shook his head, dismissing it. He pulled me back in. Just kisses, he agreed. I can do that. As he leaned in again, his mind whispered one last thought before the static of the kiss took over. I am the luckiest guy on the planet. I closed my eyes, letting the thought echo in my mind. Yeah, I thought back. We both are.